Good morning. I thought that we have discussed immigration policies of the government of Canada very thoroughly. And I had also thought that I will talk of other measures. But when something happens so zany, as even to the extent of being insane, then one is compelled to review one's decision. About 10 days back, flying at the height of 35,000 feet, a group of 14 people who are the advisory councils to the Honorable Prime Minister of Canada came up with an idea that is absolutely fantastic. Possibly flying at that height makes the people lose contact with the reality. And hence the result is what we saw. The idea was that the population of Canada should triple, should be 100 million. When all over people are trying to ensure that the population should be within limits, here was the advisory council saying that now it should be 1 million mark. Well, nothing wrong with that. But the proposal assumed significance because they wanted this increase in population by immigration and getting refugees. The first step to this fantastically insane goal was a statement by the immigration minister yesterday when he said that they will invite 450,000 people as immigrants in the next few years. The target for the next year has been fixed at 315,000, much above the target now. We discussed this target last time, so I will not dwell on that. Now my point is that why are we thinking of reaching 100 million mark? Is it viable? Are we increasing the size of the pie and also making the individual portions larger? Or are we just increasing the pie and also increasing the number, thereby making either the slice should be of the same size or it should be smaller? If the whole effort was geared to ensure that the size of the pie and the size of the slice per person would be larger, I would be happy. But if the size of pie is larger and the slice is not larger, then I'm not happy. But what they have recommended is that the size would be smaller. You get 100 million people, your resources are the same, rather they are decreasing. You are not an agriculture-based economy. You are a resource-based economy, knowledge-based economy. Most of the immigrants who come do not go to the barren areas. We call this country to be a country of the immigrants. Let's not forget that the immigrants who came at that time did not concentrate in the towns, whatever the towns they were. They spread over. They actually went to the barren places and made them habitable. But the immigrants who come today, they are concentrated into pockets. And there are 5 identified pockets. The biggest pockets being Toronto and GTA, Vancouver, followed by Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Regina. Period. Now, if that is so, then you are creating ultimately, if not immediately, slums. I have dealt with the complete depth today in my article which was published today morning about the insanity of 100 million mark. Secondly, if the country had such a provision or such a possibility that it accommodate 100 million, physically it can. But can these 5 pockets do so? The answer would be no. Now coming to the second part. Are you aware that about 7,000 people in the first 6 months in 2016 applied that they want to renounce their permanent residency and go back to their own countries? 7,000 people who came to Canada with high hopes of making a new life. Those 7,000 people have decided Canada is not the place for them. Canada, the dreamland, is no longer the dreamland for the thousands of the people who come here with hopes, with the dreams in their eyes, with vision for the children. And when they come here, they are disappointed. And that is why they are going back. Now, if you have 315,000 people coming in, out of that 7,000 people odd in 6 months, that means 14,000 approximately every year go back. We are back to the old target of the Harper government. Then why increase the target? Is there any logic in that? I don't think so. The decision of the advisory council was based more on the political considerations rather than on the economic considerations. It was more a move to win the votes rather than to increase, enhance and strengthen the economy of the country. And 15 days back or 10 days back when the decision came, I was ruminating. I said, what's gone wrong with these people? And then the only thing that could come to my mind was that these people, when they came to this decision, were flying high, both literally and figuratively. Literally, they were in an aeroplane, and then they were discussing there, and they decided, well, this is the best way out. And they did so. And figuratively, because they were definitely not in the proper minds, as I said earlier, they were disconnected from the earth and disconnected from the reality. And that disconnect produced a proposal which has absolutely no connection with the hard realities that the Canadians face. Unemployment is 7%. Millions of food going waste and millions of the people depending on the food banks. What an anomaly. I mean, this is the only country possible in the world where $32 billion worth of food is wasted every year. And we have the largest number of the people going to the food banks. And we want to get and reach 100 million mark. Do we have sufficient food banks for that? Do we have sufficient donors for that? Or do we come to that level of Rwanda, of Sudan, and other failed states, banana republics, which go with a begging bowl in their hands? You see, let's be pragmatic. I do not deny that we need more immigrants. I do not deny that we need to be human. I do not deny that we have to increase our population to an optimum mark. But what's that optimum mark? Today we are 35 million. Tripling that number without tripling the infrastructure, without tripling the resources, the employment, the transportation, the hydro, the water, the medical facilities. What are we going to do? Are we going to ensure that the people who come here either attune themselves and accustom themselves to live in slums, or we want them to come here, pay their immigration fee, pay their landing fee, get frustrated and go back? If second is the objective, that this is an economic activity, we get 100 million people, let them pay their application fees, let them be giving the landing paper, let them come here, provide the landing fee, and in 2 months make life such a hell for them that they say goodbye. Well, Canada has the money and it has lived up to its mark of being a welcoming nation, and if the people don't want to live here, well, too bad for them. I don't care, would be the attitude of the most people. But we do care. Care and compassion are the basic Canadian values. So why this proposal, I fail to understand. Now, coming to McCallum's proposal, delineated yesterday, 84,000 would be the family reunions. And last time in my comments, I had very clearly delineated the deleterious, the harmful effects of getting the so-called family reunion, which is burden to the economy. You see, now let's take a checklist. Our highways, they are the clogged arteries, and any more clogging would only mean absolute jamming and deadlocks. Our hydro, we are paying through the nose. Our water facilities, Walkerton tragedy is not a far distant reminder, and the whole of the native population is not getting good water. There's another thing, that the bottling companies are getting water, clean groundwater, at the rate of $3.17 for 20 million liters. That's what they pay. But what you pay and what you get, and especially what the native Canadians get, is something too horrible even to imagine. So roads are bad, highways are clogged, doctors, people don't have the family doctors. Thousands and thousands of the people don't have the family doctors, and they have to depend on walk-in clinics. The emergency room wait extends anywhere from 7 hours onwards. And in that situation, you are getting more immigrants. That means you are putting a burden on everything. Apart from putting a burden on your welfare expenses. Now, the proper way would have been A, start building the infrastructure, tell the people, tell the investors, tell that they come and build on boot system. Build, own, operate, transfer. Once you have built it, the people, and for that purpose, what you can do is tell them that they can bring their foreign workers. So you are getting the foreign workers and you are getting the investment at the same time. And those people would have the option of becoming the permanent residents. Get more students, as I said earlier. They pay the fee, they become accustomed to the Canadian system, and they become the citizens. But the most important thing is get foreign skilled professionals. Now let's stop using the word workers. There's no shortage of workers. All the people who are on the welfare should be compelled to work. and compelled to work at the lowest wages so that they realize the dignity of work and get off the welfare. If they don't want to work, or they say that they don't want to take that typical work, then they should not be given the welfare. Welfare would be given if you are incapable of working, not because you don't want to work. I know of the people, at least I heard, I put it on my Facebook, that a lady would only produce children and get the state to fund her. Well, that should be over. Let's open our eyes. Now, when you build your infrastructure, when you build the facilities of the people, then you invite people. As a matter of fact, the people who come and build it would be your citizens. They will be authentic citizens with a stake in the development of the country. Get those people as immigrants who have a stake in the development of the countries. And the ideal is professionals. Ideal is skilled people. Ideal is the students. If these things are given, you can get 200 million, I won't care. Because then the economy would be self-sustaining. It would not dodder. It would not be in danger of a collapse. You know, sometimes I really feel that our political system, with too much of political correctness, is going haywire. I really feel that our politicians, not they are unaware, they are fully aware, but they want to be blissfully unaware so that they can take steps which are populist, but might be deleterious, might be. You know, I remember at one time I was sitting in Switzerland with St. Moritz, the mayor, and he had asked my organization to prepare a road plan for the development of St. Moritz as a tourist city, and he wanted a 100-year plan. And I said, Your Honor, tell me, why do you want 100-year plan? Most of the people want 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plan. And he said, look at Dr. Lamba. If I want to contest the election in the next 3 years, I'll make a 5-year plan. If I want to ensure that my son succeeds me, I'll make a 20-year plan. But here I don't want to be successful myself. I don't want to make my children my successors. I want the city to be among the top sports city in the world. Whether I'm dead and gone, and whether my children step in my shoes is immaterial. But my city should be #1 city in the world. So I want a 100-year plan. That's what we need today. Look at the founding fathers. When they built 401, the population was half of what it is today. And that 401 built today is clogged at times, is really clogged, but still it's sustaining the movement. Look at the vision. They had half the population. And we are thinking of tripling the population without tripling or quadrupling 4 times the infrastructure. That's a disconnect. Our founding fathers were the people with the vision. They were visionaries. They could see what is required. And what are we doing? We want roads that shall be clogged like the arteries of a heart patient on the deathbed. We shall ensure hovels, not houses. We shall ensure shivering people, not properly heated people, rooms and houses. Why? Must our immediate concerns blind us to the reality? And as a matter of fact, as I said, we are being criminal, almost criminal, even to the people whom we invite. Because when they want to come and they desire to come, they have really high hopes. They think that they are going to a place which is heaven on earth. They think they are going to a place which is the real place to live in, which is a utopia. They come here, they find that some part of what they hope for is true. The freedom is there. The facilities are there. The doctors are excellent. But can you reach those doctors? Can you enjoy those facilities? And then the process of disillusionment sets in. And thanks to the courtesy of former Immigration Minister Chris Alexander, who brought in renunciation program, they go back. 7,903 people applying to go back. Out of that, 7,612 people have gone back and gone back in 6 months. So do we want it to be a revolving gate, people coming in, going out, coming in, going out, with absolutely no commitment to the country? I don't think so. I don't think so that that's an appropriate, proper policy for us to follow. So, friends, think about it. Think about it, whether the zany ideas which come to the advisory councils are the ideas which lead this country to heaven, or do they make it a living hell? Choice is yours, because you are the makers of the government. You are the masters of your destiny. You are the people who, if you raise voice, would be heard in the corridors of power. Howsoever powerful they may be, they have to come back to you after 2.5 years and ask for your mandate. Let them know that your mandate can be given to the responsible people. I'll be very happy that there's no change in the government ever. I don't care what party is in the power. I fully agree with Alexander Pope. Whatever is best, administered is best. Let's hope that they administer best. At present, they are not. They are failing in their job. They lack concepts, they lack ideas, they can only talk. They do not deliver. And what they deliver is a malformed, deformed baby, a baby underweight, a baby not proper human being. We need proper deliveries, we need proper babies, we need good end products. We don't need half-baked ideas which can spell disaster for the country. Thank you.